Right, welcome everyone to another live session of yoga from my home. I am setting up Instagram as well. It'll be my normal view. Couldn't get it to stick. But let's all start in child's pose. So take your knees wide on the mat and have your toes touching, ankles touching, bum, stretching forward with the hands, and sit back and slow down your breath. We're live on Instagram as well, so just start releasing those toxins, stretching out the hands in front of you. Just settle down on the mat. Breathing slowly in through your nose and out through your nose. If you have any concerns during the class, as always, just comment. I'll be sure to assist you as much as possible. But for now, just think about what you want from the practice. Practicing for the inner self, for someone else, wherever you're practicing for and where. Just be focused in this next 60 minutes in the Vinyasa flow. And just be gentle to your body. You know yourself, you might have a stressful day, might have some injuries. Just take it easy, come back to this child pose, Balasana, as a resting pose if you need to. Take another breath in through the nose. Now let's sigh it out together. One more time. Breathing in through the nose. And a big sigh out. And slowly come up. Fingertips. Sitting tall. We can stay in that position we're in. I'm going to try a breathing technique that's called Kapalabhati. It's kind of cleansing, warming, getting the lungs and the body ready for practice we're doing. So what I want you to do is take maybe your right hand, just have it by your diaphragm, which is the top of your ribs, and I want you to feel it expanding and contract as you do fast breathing by trying to isolate through the diaphragm. So if we do 20 Kapalabhatis, means that we do quick sessions of kind of pumping. So you take a breath in, big breath in, let's do it together. And then you start pumping. So you can close your throat. Let's say that was about 20. So do your own counting. And let's try to do 40. So closing down mouth as you breathe in. And start pumping. So the more you can feel like it's coming from your abdominal area, the better you can isolate in that area. And when you're on 40, just relax, come to all fours. Do a little warm up of our spine. Start by rolling our hips from side to side. Maybe do a little rolling, kind of figure of 8. As the spine moves up, a little bit freestyling. Move the stomach down. And remember to continue breathing through your nose. Then finding some stillness. Let's do proper cat-cows. Start with the cow, just dropping stomach. So breathing in. And as you breathe out, push through the feet, through the hands, just up towards the sky, looking towards your navel. And breathing out. And sort of breathing in as you look up again. And exhaling as you push through. Do this maybe 2-3 more times. Using your breath to assist you, breathing in, looking up. And as you exhale, you push through the chest and looking towards your inner thigh. And then come to neutral spine. We're going to see if we can activate the core a little bit. So before we go into downward facing dog, you push through your toes, come up a few centimeters off the mat, look slightly straight forward, top of the mat, and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take down again, knees. And we'll try it one more time. Push up, toes. Hold it for 9, 8, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down. And maybe you're taking your fingers a little bit further forward. And we're taking our back heels off the ground. And we're stepping back into our first downward facing dog. So you can bend your knees, bend your toes a little bit, warming up the hamstrings, the back of your legs. You want to feel that V shape. So what's important in the beginning is not maybe have straight legs. You want to still push stomach in as much as possible, your pelvis. Just feel a lengthening. It's an upside down V shape. So when you've been walking your dog for a while, you just find some stillness. You look slightly forward and you roll over on your toes, dropping the knees to the floor, and then slowly taking yourself down. And from here, you come into a low cobra, hands off the floor, pushing up, looking slightly forward, and then taking yourself back to the toes, and then knees and pushing up into downward facing dog. So that's an easy option of Vinyasa that you can use during the class. Go a little bit harder, push forward, again on your tiptoes, push down in Chaturanga, have your elbows in, and then slowly push yourself up, opening the chest into upward facing dog. Or you can do low cobra there as well. And then back into downward facing dog. So let's try and do that in our own time. Seeing who's joined. Sorry again for the lightning on Instagram. I couldn't find a high spot, as I'm doing on YouTube. So let's come on the toes. Push forward. Allow yourself all the way down, knees. And then slowly hands off or upward facing dog. And then back into downward facing dog. From here, have your left foot grounded. Take your right foot up towards the sky. And then I want you to open up that right foot so you can see it underneath your left elbow. You can wave a little bit, so you're doing a split dog. So it's really about having the hips open. And then you're going to take that knee in towards you and step on the outside of your right foot. So here, before you're taking down the left knee, you can just wiggle a little bit further back and forth. And then taking that left knee to the ground into our full lizard. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our right hand, take it inside of our right knee. And you're going to slowly push. So it goes slightly out, so you're opening up the ilicis, the front hip, and you're feeling it also on the left side. Make sure you have quite square hips. And then you take that back to center. You can stay on the fingertips. Maybe if you want a little challenge, come down to your elbows. Just try to relax here for a second. And then back to fingertips if you're not there already. And we're going to do a twist. So I want you to take come up to your toes again on the left. And take the right hand up towards the sky. And then right. Just really open up on the right side, on the chest. So you do self-assist, take in the hand, and you just squeeze it up. If you've got a bind here where you want to take the hand behind as well, you can do that. We can just leave it up in the air. And then slowly taking down, stepping back into plank, and doing Vinyasa, either knees to the floor, upward facing dog, or cobra, and then back into downward facing dog. Let's do the other side, having the left foot rooted. Really try to lift up that leg. See if you can put it more straight. And twist open. So again, see if you can wiggle. See that back foot. And then slowly taking the knee inside, and then step on the outside of your left hand. So again, just wiggle a little bit back and forth. Just feeling that opening on the hip. And then taking that right knee to the floor. Slowly. And you want to see if you can push left knee a little bit to the outside, while still keeping kind of lengthening in the spine. So you're looking up slightly to the side. And then you take that left hand back for a lizard. And then if you did another side, or if you're feeling more open to this, you take the elbows to the ground, just relaxing in the shoulders. And if you're on the fingertips, come back to the fingertips. Taking the left hand to the sky, looking up, feeling a stretch. You can do the self-assist that you did on the other side. Just squeezing through, taking the hand up. And then down, stepping back. And let's do a Vinyasa flow. So either knees to the floor, or chaturanga, low cobra, or upward facing dog, and then back into our downward facing dog. So let's pick up the pace. Let's lift our right leg up to the sky, feeling the hips open, and then split open again. So to the side, and stepping through, this time in between our chest. And if you can, slowly come up into high lunge. So you want to have the hands kind of tight. If you want to have a challenge, you come down a little bit on the front knee, otherwise just go up. And windmill arms down, stepping back, and slowly down in Vinyasa. And back into downward facing dog. And the other side, lifting left leg up, split dog, stepping through in between, and really lifting, putting the pelvis in the stomach in, back protected, strong glute, right glute is activated, slightly looking forward, fingers in, and take a breath in, and slowly windmill the arms down, stepping back into a high plank, going down, slowly with knees or full, low cobra, hands off, or upward facing dog, and then back into downward facing dog. So every time you should let that breathing really follow. So down, you're breathing out, up, you're breathing in, and then down again, breathing out. So we're going to lift the right leg up, do a split dog, stepping through in between our hands, coming up into high lunge, and then taking our back foot, the back leg, the left one down. Want to see if you can have them parallel between your ankles to the line. You're taking both your hands forward. Maybe you can do a little bit more bend in the front. Depends on you, how far you want to go. The hands are parallel. You're looking forward. Your right thumb. One more breath. And windmill arms down. Stepping back. Fulfilling a vinyasa. And then coming back in a downward facing dog. We lift the left leg up, split dog, stepping through, in between, high lunge, and taking that back foot, the right one, down to the floor, maybe leaning a little bit forward. Hands again are parallel, arms are not swinging to one side or other. And windmill arms down, stepping back, coming down, upward facing dog, low cobra, and then downward facing dog. So let's pick up the pace, lift up the right leg, do a split dog, stepping through into a high lunge, and then back leg again into warrior two. So from here, flip that right palm, move forward from the hips, and then take that back into reverse warrior. So what you want to feel, go down a little bit, what you want to feel is the lengthening on the right side. As you lean back, you open up. Again, imagine that you're leaning back in an invisible wall as well, so you're back against the wall. Take one more breath, and windmills back to warrior two, and then windmill down to the floor, stepping back, coming down, and back, and down again, into a downward facing dog, where we can switch to the other side, right leg stays rooted, split dog, stepping through, high lunge, back leg, warrior two. Same here, principle, lean forward with the left palm open from the hip, and take that back, feeling the stretch on the left side. Maybe you're resting the right hand on your calf. You don't have to. You can even have it open around the side. Resting on the left leg. And take one more breath here. Windmill back into warrior two. And back down into Vinyasa. Knees to the floor. Or Chaturanga. Low cobra. Or upward facing dog. And then back in downward facing dog. We're almost there for the break. So let's lift the right leg again. Up. Split open. Stepping through. High lunge and then low lunge. High lunge and then warrior two. We have Vinyasa two. And flip that right palm. Move it forward. Back. And then back to warrior two. You want to take that left foot a little bit closer. Maybe, yeah, just a comfortable position really. Semi-straight the right foot, right leg. Don't lock your knees. So what we want to do is we want to push forward like we're doing reverse warrior. Taking that right arm down, left arm up. So you're really opening up the chest, like you're pushing back. You want to feel a lengthening from the left to the right hand. And slowly bend that front knee, coming back into warrior two. Windmill arms down, stepping back. And we're doing Vinyasa. So knees to the floor or Chaturanga, low cobra or upward facing dog. And then back into downward facing dog. And let's do the other side. So your right leg stays rooted. You lift the left leg up. And we split that open to a split dog. You're taking that knee, stepping through into high lunge, coming up with the arms straight, strong core. Back leg down into warrior two. Flip that palm, the left one, and take that back into reverse warrior, and then back into warrior two. And this time, again, you can shorten that stance a little bit. This time, you want to have the left leg straight. You take your left arm forward, and then as you go down, you lift up that right arm, feeling lengthening. Again, on that chest, on that opening. You don't want to rest on the front knee, you're not dumping into it, and you slowly come back up. Windmilling the arms down from warrior two, stepping back, coming down, breathing in, and breathing out. And just walk your dog out a little bit, almost there. So this time, lift your right leg up, split dog, stepping through into high lunge, and then back leg, foot into warrior two. Taking the right palm forward, and then back into reverse warrior, and then again back to warrior two. I'm going to take the right elbow onto your right knee, and you're taking that left arm and just windmill it up, opening up on the left side and the chest again. Imagine that wall you're leaning against. If you want to make it even more harder, you can take your right hand to the floor. If you had a block, you can use the block there. Either way, just stay open. And then slowly release. Coming back into warrior two. Looking forward, windmilling those arms down. Stepping back, down. Upward facing dog, below cobra. And then back into downward facing dog. Really try to lift up, again, the pelvis. Strong hands, strong arms. Letting the shoulders curl in. Good, and then we finish on the other side, taking the left leg up, split dog, stepping through, in between the hands, coming up, and then back foot down to warrior two, flip the palm, reverse warrior, back into warrior two. Let's do the other side, taking the left elbow to the left knee, windmilling slowly that right arm up, trying to keep it as straight as possible. And if you do the other side, you can take that left hand to the floor. Again, you just want to feel the opening of the chest, the shoulders. And slowly coming back up into warrior two. Windmilling arms down. Let's do our Vinyasa. And let's meet in back in our downward facing dog. So you slowly coming back. Maybe you feel a little bit more open now. Feeling like you can push your head a little bit closer to the mat. Taking 5 more breaths in this position. Just trying to relax. Don't let your fingers move. Just being static. And then slowly come down to your knees. Maybe you want a sip of water. Just resetting. And let's all meet down in Balasana Child's Pose. Again, knees wide, toes touching. So if you just joined, this is 60-minute Vinyasa flow. So I've got 2 different setups, got Instagram one and higher up on YouTube. So in the middle of the class, we've done the hard bit, we've done the Vinyasa. Now we're going to do the groundwork, balancing, core stuff, and a little bit more flexibility. Just take 2 more breaths here. Slowly breathing in through the nose. A breath count of 4 seconds. And slowly exhale. And a breath count of 4 seconds. And from here, the next exhale, slowly push yourself back up into the downward facing dog. And look forward towards your hands. So either jump or step to the top of your mat. And slowly come up on your fingertips. You do some loosening of those hamstrings, more so than before. and open up the lower back as well. So first what I want you to do is you grab your elbows, do some swinging from side to side, just loosening it up. And after a few rounds, try and release the fingers to the floor. And you can have a little bit micro bend in your knees if you want to protect those hamstrings, just from tiredness and tightness. Hopefully loosen up after a while. You want to take your first two peace fingers around the big toes, so each big toe, and you want to lengthening, again, you can micro bend the legs, lengthening the spine. Take a big breath in through the nose, and as you breathe out, you push with the elbows out. See if you can take your head a little bit closer towards your knee. So in each breath out, so you can push further forward, but without rounding the spine a little bit too much, and you don't want to force straight legs either. So big breath in, you look slightly up, and as you breathe out, try to push the head closer towards your knees. So let's all do it one more time. Breath in, slightly looking forward, and breathe out as you're pushing closer towards the knees. And then slowly release the fingers. Let's do a roll up to standing where knees, and then mid back, and then head and shoulders coming last. You can roll those shoulders down and out a little bit. And we're going to do some back bending. So again, here, if you have some back problems, just take it slow. It always helps, again, to have a micro bend in our knees. So slightly pushing the hips forward. We take one arm up, the right one, and then the left. And we're going to take that back, squeezing our elbows together. So you're kind of holding imaginary jeans pocket. And as you breathe in, slowly going to push those hips forward. If you want to, you can always drop the head back, but recommend for beginners just to stay in that position, squeezing elbows together, protecting the back. And then slowly coming back up, releasing the fingers, taking care of your back. So if you felt the squeeze, that might have been like you've gone too far. You actually didn't squeeze the bum at the same time. So hopefully that's something you can learn next time. From here, I'm just going to do a mountain pose, resetting. So taking our feet together, hands wide, maybe closing your eyes. Just resetting. And then open your eyes. We'll do some chair pose, Utkatasana. So what I want is your toes touching, your ankles slightly apart. And then take your hands up as you sit back. If you can keep them as straight as possible. Pelvis in, keeping the core active, glutes active, making sure that the knees are aligned. Just stay here for one more breath. And slowly come back. Do the same, but now with a twist. So as we sit back, big breath in, taking our hands together, touching. I want you to take the right elbow and breathe in, and as you breathe out, you twist to your left, and then you're going to see you can take that right elbow on the outside of your left knee. As you push into the hands, try to look up. And just really push into those hands if you want to. If you really have the elbow on the outside, you can always take the hands wide. But I recommend just to stay with the elbows for one more breath. And from here, slowly release. Before we change to the other side, we're going to swing again, up, taking our hands together and taking the left elbow to the outside of our right knee. Again, just twist. You're breathing in, feeling more expansion. As you're breathing out, you can push forward more on your knee. If you try the other side, if it's better, you can try and open up here again, taking the left arm to the floor and the right up. And one more breath. And then slowly coming back to center and coming up to standing again. And just shaking out a little bit. Your legs might be a little bit tired. Just shake them out. We're going to do balancing exercise. So we're going to do a tree pose. So I want you to take your left foot slightly forward. Really make sure that you have it grounded on the floor. And you want to then slowly come to the toes of your right foot. Lift the right foot off the floor. You start with your hands and hip position. And then try and take that foot on the left leg. So you really try and open up the hip as you do so. It's called a tree pose. And then look forward with your hands in prayer position. Find a focal point. So what you also can do is see if you can take the arms up to the sky. If you're wiggling a little bit, don't worry. Just look forward. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly taking your hands down. Taking the leg down. Just shaking a little bit before we do the other side. So this time, taking your right foot forward. You're slowly on your knees, on your toes, on your left knee, and then you're lifting that up. Might be worse on this side, I am. Taking the hands on your hip, and then see if you can take that foot on the inside, leaning on your right leg. So you might stay here, or you might just have your hands on the hip or prayer position. Just find a focal point. Might even taking the hands up, above, and do 5 more breaths. 4, 3, 2, and final one. Come down to the floor and just check it out. And from here, I'm going to take the feet mat distance apart. And we're going to go down in a squat position. So what's good here is you might want to just rock a little bit from side to side. If your hip feels very, very tight, you can always take a block under just for support, or a book or whatever. And you want to take your elbows on the inside and just press knees wide and feeling a lengthening of the spine. So you don't want to collapse or rounded shoulders. You want to lift up, feeling really opening the hips. This is good for digestion, especially as we sit all day. It's opening up our hip flexors. Take one more breath. And then take your hands back and slowly sit back on the bum, taking our feet forward. And slowly coming down on our back. And do some groundwork, floor work. So what I want you to do is start by flexing the left foot, keeping that left leg on the floor. And then you want to push your right knee towards your chest, maybe towards your shoulders. So you're flexing both feet, you're grabbing the knee, and you're slowing down. So on the exhale, just see if you can push that knee a little bit closer without straining the left leg off the floor, or letting the shoulders get off the floor too much. So take one more breath in. Exhale, push it further. And release. And I want you to take the left hand on the outside of the right knee. And you slowly want to push that to the left side, rolling over. So this is good for the thoracic upper spine, twisting, the area we normally don't do a lot of twisting. You're going to see if you can relax the right elbow and the right shoulders and the left shoulders onto the mat, the floor. Same principle here, breathing in. And as you exhale, see if you can push slightly closer to the floor without compromising the shoulders on both sides. And then slowly coming back up, rolling back, taking that leg down to the floor and switch side. So maybe you need to squeeze a little bit to the left just to have space for the twist later on. So taking the left knee towards your chest, flexing both feet, breathing in. And as you exhale, and see if you can push that knee a little bit closer towards you. Might be tight on this side, don't worry, we all have one favorite or one less favorite side. It's quite natural to be a little bit asynchronous in that sense. And take another breath in. And see if you can push a little bit further towards your chest. And slowly release. Taking the left hand out, right hand on the outside of your left, and roll over. And still keeping both elbows, shoulders on the floor. Maybe you want to look on the left side if your neck can handle it. And every exhale, you can push slightly more. And then roll yourself up, coming back into center. Maybe taking both knees towards you and so keeping it back on the floor. Just roll a little bit from side to side, massaging that spine and the lower back. And then taking those feet to the floor. We want to do, let's see, we've got time. Right, so we want to do a bridge pose. Your ankles towards you, touching ankles with your fingers. And from here, so you're really letting the hands touch the floors, squeezing through. You take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you push up. Your hips coming up. You're activating your glutes. Your lower back gets strengthening. The front body is a good stretch. So you're pushing through. See if you can come a little bit higher. Don't let your legs flare out. Keep them in your knees. Maybe you're clasping your hands. You're staying here for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And you're slowly coming down on the floor. Now you know what we're doing. I'm going to do it 1 more time. Taking the fingers, touching your ankles. You want to push through as you breathe out. And maybe you want to clasp again the fingers. Maybe even taking the arms up, over, still on the floor. As you're activating, really activate the hamstrings, the glutes. Don't let them be passive. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And on the exhale, you slowly roll yourself down. And you're back. And we're going to do some rock and rolling up and down. And take our legs, back of our legs, and on the next one, I'm going to stay up, rooted up, taking the hands forward, maybe even having the legs straight. We're going to stay there, keeping the core activated, really feeling it. Don't try to lump back with your back, so you can always bend the arms, bend the hands. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And then we're slowly going to cross our legs, walking forward, stepping back, and slowly coming down to the ground. So we're laying on our stomach. And we start with a Sphinx pose, taking our hands slightly forward. And as we breathe in, we push the chest, the shoulders back, protecting the lower back also by squeezing glutes. So you're really feeling an opening on the front actually as much as you're strengthening any back exercise. So you're looking slightly forward, taking a few more breaths here. And you slowly push down. Next exhale, just taking your shin maybe to the left shin, looking to the right, just rolling a little bit from side to side. And then switching, taking our left shin. And then coming back to center. I'm going to try boat post. So we want to take our left foot back, taking a grip with the left hand. Same on the other side. See if you can really push into that hands, the feet. So before you go up, you really want to push in to the hands, which will help you alleviate slightly higher and help protect as well. So on your breath in, you want to see if you can push up into your hands, like looking forward, squeezing the elbows, keeping for 2 more breaths, and then slowly taking down in your last breath. Maybe again, just walk a little bit from side to side. And taking the hands next to each other, pushing back. Into child's pose. And coming back to our fingertips. I'm going to finish off with some forward folds and reverse tabletop. And then I think it's time for some final relaxation after that. But we're not there yet, so let's refocus. Taking our feet forward, making sure that we're sitting tall on our cheeks. Might want to use block or a blanket, whatever you have in front, and just rise up a little bit so you come a little bit higher. And from here, take your hands up. Also have a micro bend maybe in your knees in the beginning. And take a big breath in. And as you breathe forward, breathing out, you're going to lean with your chest, with your stomach, and really feeling that lengthening. Maybe you can grab hold of your legs or your feet, ankles, but what's important is to feel the lengthening from the chest, upper back, instead of dumping in to the lower back and making whatever back pain you might have worse. So on each exhale, you see if you can come a little bit closer with your head. Taking 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, you're slowly going to roll back up. Coming back to center. We're going to do taking our hands slightly back, still sitting tall. And taking our feet to the ground. I'm going to come up, raise up. As you breathe in to reverse tabletop, maybe taking the head back, squeezing again the glutes, feeling a stretch on the front. You can even do a reverse kind of plank, where you're taking your feet to the ground, your foot, and really pushing. This is quite a strong core exercise. And slowly release, coming back down to the floor. And from here, why not switch off the lights a little bit. Maybe take the curtains. And just come down, lying on the floor. Closing the eyes. Taking your hands to the side. Palms facing up. Feet relaxing. Shoulders down, away from the head. And just slow down your breath. If your mind starts wandering, just come back to our breath. Maybe think about doing a breath count of 4 and a breath count of 4 for inhale, exhale. Now slowly come back to your physical body, or maybe just moving your fingers, moving your toes, circle your feet, circle your wrists, maybe rolling your head from side to side. And then you can always take a stretch, a full body stretch, taking your hands over your head, your feet stretching out. And then let's all meet in a seated position. Stay closing your eyes, taking your chest, taking your knees towards the chest, rolling to the right side, pushing yourself up into easy crossed leg or whatever comfortable seated position on the top of the mat. And then taking your hands in prayer position. Let's warm our hands by rubbing them together, feeling that heat. And then taking it over our eyes. And slowly opening up the eyes. And as you're releasing back into prayer positioning, I welcome you back to the room. Thanking you for joining me in 60 minutes. And as always, if you have any questions or any concern or feedback, just DM them to me or write in the chat. Drink lots of water, stay healthy, and stay sane. And I hope I see you all soon. Thank you.